Hello my friends and welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. I am of course Kevin. You may have also seen me on Tabletop Jones Productions where John and I are the two idiots playing board games. And today, finally getting back to my painting videos. I was able to get the supplies I needed in spite of my tight budget. I was able to get some paints, and I was able to actually also fix the battery problems I was having with the camera, and I'm ready to go. Alright, so I'm going to continue with the aliens that I have been painting. Last time I painted, I think it was like the one that they called the Skulker, and and a bunch of drones. So this time it is, oops, it is the Scout. Let me bring that closer. Yeah, the Scout and a bunch of drones. Yeah, you'll see them as I paint them. So color schemes. I've been trying to basically look over pictures and videos from the old Alien movies, as well as also watching the new series Aliens Earth, and there does seem to be a lot of changes or just differences. Sometimes with the colors on the alien skin. I mean, predominantly it is black, but also there's like other colors, like in the Aliens Earth series, it does have yellow, a lot of yellow actually, or at least yellowish. I have also seen gray used on it. So basically, what I'm doing is like last time I used a yellow color to go with the, I think it was like a yellowish green color that I used to go with the with the aliens that I painted that time. Mainly because that's usually what in my opinion, it's what the acid blood looks like. This time I'm going to use a bit of gray. So I'm going to make them different. I'm going to make them a little bit different than the last batch. And I'm just going to keep on trying to do different things with the aliens with each batch that I paint. There's going to be another 3 batches after this. It's always going to be like those specialty aliens plus a bunch of drones. So when the game finally comes out, and it will come out on Tabletop Jones Productions eventually, when John and I play it, it's the aliens are gonna look a little bit distinctive. They're gonna look a little bit colorful. I don't think we're gonna keep ourselves to just one color type. I think we're just gonna just grab kind of like luck of the draw, just grab whichever one we can and just put it on the board. But yeah, that's so I'm gonna do so today I'm gonna do a bit of gray. Like it's like on the side of the head, where it looks like especially on the rib cage. Rib cages always look like they're different colors each and every time I see them. Like in each and every different movie or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna do gray. So the rib cage is gonna be gray. There's like sometimes on the parts of the body it looks like there's a little bit of underneath exposed. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of gray there. I'm gonna keep the flat aluminum for like everything with the teeth, and also that like I think I said this the last time, that drool also looks like it's like metallic. It always did to me, at least. So I'm gonna be doing that. Put a little bit like towards the mouth to make it look like it's like they're drinking, because they do it all the time. And quite frankly, also I'm gonna use it for the like the spikes on the back of the spine and the blade on the tail, and also for the claws. So it's going to be a little bit here, so a little bit here and there on them. And one thing I will say, as I do have a color of primer other than black. However, I don't see the point in taking a black model, priming in a different color, and then painting it black. So I'm going to use black primer. I'm not going to do it on camera because you're really not going to see anything. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm going to go outside, because it's nice and sunny outside today, and the temperature's actually not too bad. Yeah, yeah, I'm a weatherman now, right? Anyway, I'm gonna prime everything outside. When that primer is dry, I will go over it, and I do have a bit of a glossy black, and I think it's semi-gloss. Well, and it doesn't matter. The point is, it'll make the skin shine, and then I'll get to work on the details and get all that in, and before you know it, it'll be finished. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and the primer on these aliens have dried, although it's really hard to tell sometimes. And we're going to get started. Alright, so let's get this on, point this down here. Okay. So, oh shoot, I forgot to take out my brushes. And sorry if you heard that siren. It's from outside, of course. Alright, so. Alright, the main reason that I do this right now, basically painting these black models with black paint, is because this is a semi-gloss black, and sorry, the brush is no good. Yeah, bristles are all stuck together. I'm gonna try to find a better one. Anyway, so yeah, it's trying to basically make sure that the skin of the alien looks like it is shiny, like it does in the movies and the TV show. I mean, obviously I don't have to go too much with it, because everything else was pretty much covered in primer. But in comparison, the primer looks dull. Okay. So this part might actually be quick, which could be advantageous because I believe that my battery is getting low. I need to change the battery. Yeah, so I did this as a short, but little lesson to learn from yours truly. So this is what I did, and it was a bit of a waste of time. So the first thing I did when I realized that the charger, that the cord I had, and I call it a charger cord, but it's really an AV cord. When I realized that it wasn't working anymore, my first instinct was to, since I bought this camera on Amazon, my first instinct was to go back to Amazon, look up, the camera, and see if through that I can find a cord that was compatible. I thought, yeah, that'll work. Well, I did find a cord, but I couldn't really see the connector, or at least I couldn't see it well enough to realize that the connector wasn't going to work. Yeah, so, I get this cord, I go to plug it in, and I realize that the part that plugs into the camera is a bit different, and it doesn't fit. I was like, oh crap, alright. Which I haven't returned that cord yet, but I will. So then my next bit was, I was talking about this whole thing with some guys at work, and one of them was asking to see it, to see because the company name and all that, and I believe the company name is Kamiri, which is not a company I've really heard of, but I don't know what all electronics companies are called. So anyway, I look up the camera, and for those of you who shop on Amazon, you know that when you look up something, like any particular item, you scroll down, and it'll basically have like a bundle of, usually with what you want to buy, and like two other things saying, others who bought this also bought this and this and this. So what I did see was a battery charger. For like the first time ever, I saw an actual, specific battery charger. So I ordered it. Well, get it, and I go to I put my battery in there. I put one of them in there, and it doesn't lock in. It doesn't lock into anything, and as a result, wasn't charging. So, to me, this thing was a piece of garbage because it wasn't doing anything that I needed it to do. I wasn't charging up any batteries, and then it came with two batteries, and this was all last week, and it was the main reason, it coming with two batteries was the main reason I was able to do my cooking video last week, because there was one battery that was fully charged, but when I put it in the camera, it would work for like about a minute, and then the whole camera would just shut off. So the battery was obviously faulty. And the other one was not as fully charged, but it was charged enough that I could do the cooking video that I did last week. because a lot of these videos, I mean, I was doing some videos for my tablet. A lot of these videos I cannot do that because of the angles that I need to put in. It's like these videos I absolutely cannot do with my tablet because I need to angle it down like I have it right now, and with the tablet it just won't work. So so of course I initiate a return, which the return went through, but I didn't get the money back yet. It's amazing how when you pay for something, they take the money out right away, but when you return something, it takes a while. Amazing, huh? So anyway, so then I basically I did what I should have done in the first place. I took the camera, I looked at the bottom where the model number was, and did a search on Amazon by the model number. And guess what? I found a cord. I found an AV cord, charger cord, whatever, that worked, that plugged into my camera and worked. I should have done that from the beginning. Oh my God, I felt so foolish at that point. I was really I was kicking myself in I wanted to kick myself in my own butt and said, you know what, doofus, you should have done that from the beginning. You would have had all of this solved already, and you wouldn't have bought a few things that you didn't, that you couldn't use. I mean, obviously, I'm going to send them back. I already sent one back, and I'm going to send the other thing back as well. But still, it was so dang frustrating. And look at that. I've finished with the black paint. Okay. And that brush worked out just fine. Okay. Alright. Gonna let that paint dry. Alright, so like I just said, I'm gonna let that paint dry. I'm actually gonna change the battery. And so when I come back, I'm gonna start with details with the first with the gray paint, and then if then I'll maybe, I don't know if I'll take a break before I do the flat aluminum, or maybe I'll just do it all at once. I'm not entirely sure yet. I just gotta see. I gotta see how the gray paint goes on first. All right, so yeah, so these aliens are gonna be nice when they're all together. They're gonna be nice and a little bit colorful. It's always good to have a little bit of color, right? All right, so anyway, let's let this paint dry. Stay tuned. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back and that paint has dried, at least I'm pretty sure it has. And we're going to start on some details on these aliens and see how far we go. Alright, let's get to it, right? Isn't that what I usually say now with this stuff? Okay, so going to use a medium gray. I almost said neutral. I mean, I'm using this because it is like a lighter gray than some of the other grays that I have, and will probably show up better. So it's going to get a little bit on the head. Okay, and to the rib cage, like I said. Okay, now little bits here and there. All right. Okay. I think that's a good amount of gray. All right, so let's just move on to the next. Okay. Yeah, so as I was, when I was, the story I was relaying, yeah, I felt very, very foolish that I didn't just look at the model number of my camera from the very beginning and solve my problem that way. Sometimes it's like you got to go through a self-imposed hardship in order to solve your problems. And that's exactly what that was. That was a self-imposed hardship I put on myself to solve the problem of my battery. Live and learn, right? Hopefully I did. Which is weird because it's like normally I would look first at the model number. I mean, I've done that for, when I'm trying to get cases for cell phones, you know? So it's like I was actually annoyed at myself that I didn't even think of it. No, well, like I said, live and learn. It's also it's also kind of a rough time, so, Okay, ooh, I got that without even realizing. Ooh, let's try not to drop these, because sometimes these tails detach when there's a little bit of a jostling. Alright, so yeah, so now that the camera is back on track, I am getting back into, of course, the painting videos, which is basically what I started this with. I started this whole channel with these. And I do enjoy this, of course. I do enjoy doing these videos, where I'm painting something. Um, and I got, well, it's actually, the problem I'm running into with these is I'm running out of minis, but I do have somewhere in this house, I do have a multitude of Star Trek related minis for that game, Federation Commander, which hasn't yet appeared on Tabletop Jones Productions, but one day will. Because one day, I'll keep bringing it up until we use it. And I also have a bunch of old battle mechs for BattleTech. I actually have some terrain pieces for from not only Marvel Crisis Protocol, but also, I think I better start getting it from here, but also for the new one that I started looking into, which was, from the same company, Star Wars Shatterpoint. Yeah, I know painting terrain pieces isn't as entertaining as actual characters, but they do need to be done. Actually, there's a terrain piece I have. I don't know for any of you who remember when I did the Spider-Man and Doc Ock pieces, and they said it was part of a thing called Rivals, and it had terrain. I still have to do that, so one day I will be painting that on the excuse me, on this channel. And then, of course, when I'm done, I'll take those two pieces out and put them in the places that they have on that terrain for them. They actually have it where you could use it as a display piece. So I will get that ready when I do that. I remember the last one I did was a truck piece of terrain. Was a piece of terrain that was essentially a truck. I don't think that was well received. I don't really think I got too many views on that. Oh, and speaking of views, I have been looking into the analytics that I almost said Facebook that YouTube lets you see, and I have seen that a lot. I mean, like 85% of the views that I get are from non-subscribers. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please do. It does help to support the channel. It does help me build this up to a point where I can possibly be doing this on a more permanent basis. I mean, right now it's I'm doing it every weekend, but I also have a job that I go to, so it's not like this is all that I do. Although one day I would like to be retired and have this and the Tabletop Jones Productions site to be all that I do. But anyway, subscribe. Let me try it again in English. A subscription on YouTube costs nothing. So, you can support me. Well, maybe not just me. You can support the channel without spending a dime. And I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I've got a bunch of YouTube subscriptions myself, for different channels that I do frequently watch. Okay. So, so just know that I'm not just talking out my butt. I actually practice what I preach, for the most part at least. And as always, if you got something to say, put it in the chat. I will try to respond, although do keep it in good taste. There was one particular comment on something that I put up that wasn't really, it was actually meant to be a short, but it wound up being a bit longer, and it was like a regular video, and a comment was made that I felt was not in good taste, and I just ignored it and eventually deleted it. So there are some standards. I know that sounds awful, but I know that there are some standards that I will adhere to. So, if you're going to comment, if you're going to, utilize the chat, keep things civil and within the realms of good taste, because I'm not going to waste any energy on people trying to spread hatred. Well, maybe hatred's a strong word, but yeah, actually, it is a strong word. I'm not gonna, but I'm not anything that's negative. That's a better word to use. I'm not gonna indulge, negativity. There's enough negativity in the world and in our lives, so we don't need any more of that. So, all right. So I got the gray in. Should I just move straight on in? Yeah, actually, you know what? Why not? Let's just move straight on in to the flat aluminum. Alright, yeah, let's just keep this going. Let me get a good brush for this. Stop rolling on me, please. Alright. Yeah, so anyway, as long as we keep everything civil and lighthearted, there's plenty of interactions to be had. But, the reason I keep this channel the way I do is because there's, like I said, there's a lot of straight up negativity out there. It's, something that I didn't want reflected on my channel. I mean, I do have certain viewpoints. I generally keep them to myself, because I know that there are some people out there that not only do not share the viewpoints, some of the viewpoints that I may have, but also have very strong feelings about said viewpoints. So I keep some of those viewpoints, private. And I think that's the best way to do it, because that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about hobbies. This channel is about enjoying yourself. This channel is not about arguing. It's not about fighting. It's not about getting all riled up. I mean, if you're going to get riled up, watch an alien movie. Get riled up that way. Right? Anyway, so yeah, so that's what I generally try to do here. I try to keep this a very calm, copacetic, if that's a good word to use, I'm not entirely certain, but I try to keep everything very calm, very, very relaxing, not a place to go where we're going to go rah, 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 rah. You know, if that makes any sense. You know, basically, you know, this channel is for everybody. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care which way you lean. If you like hobbies, then this channel's for you. Alright. Might be getting a little too much on the tail here. I hope not, but, you know, sometimes not only do I not remember what I did the week before, but I kind of want to do something. Sometimes I just want to do something a little different. Okay. Alright. Getting closer to the end. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, look at that. We're almost done. Almost done. Alright. Yeah. One thing I always know. Oops. I think I did a little too. Put it on my finger. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to wipe off that little bit. I'm just going to leave it and say, yeah, he drooled on his finger. Okay. Yeah, and yeah. All right. So yeah, when we play this game, these are gonna really stand out. And I had been thinking about how I thought about for quite a while how I was gonna paint the aliens on this. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna paint the aliens on this, but I was like, you know what? I really kind of want to. I want to make these things look, you know, I want them to stand out. I want to make them look a bit unique. And I was really struggling with that for a bit, like how to do it. And then I finally just, you know, I started thinking about it and started coming up with some ideas. And I don't know, I think I'm doing pretty good with these. You know, not to pat myself on the back, but you know, I do think I'm doing pretty good with these. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Just about done. This is the last one, actually. Oops. I am so sorry. Excuse me. But that was the last one. Alright. Now, I was actually about to say I feel like I'm getting faster at these, but I do realize that for these models, you don't need as much, you know, as far as the painting goes. It's like not as many colors. I could put all these brushes away. I got a multitude of brushes that I use. Probably most of them I should be throwing away, but since I'm not entirely in the position to buy more just yet, I hold on to them. Alright, so let me get these aliens ready to display here. Okay. And here they are. 2 scout aliens and 5 drones ready to deploy to face the Colonial Marines. Okay, so that's all I got for today. Please like, subscribe, and share this video as much as possible. Also go to Tabletop Jones and do the same there. It's the best way to support the channels. As I said earlier, the subscriptions do not cost anything, so you know it'll cost you nothing to help support the channels. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this, and of course, like I said, if you know anybody who would like these videos, please, please share with them, let them know about it. I just want to try to reach as many people as. I try to get in English. I want to try to reach as many people as possible. I still am trying to reach 50 subscribers. I'm like 10 subscribers away, and also, like I said, on Tabletop Drones Productions, we're trying to reach the same goal. From over there, we're 20 subscribers away, and over there, if we can reach 50, we can do live stream games. We don't know how to do it just yet, but we want to learn. But unfortunately, the first goal is to reach 50 subscribers. All right, so anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a great day.